Hi everyone, Renee here, and welcome to the second part of my review of the Ordinary line. This is definitely going to be an ongoing series because I bought a few more of their newly released products. I've tried a few of them and so far so good. At the end of this, I will also give you a sample routine and how this will fit into our sort of multiple step Asian skincare routines. I also got confirmation from the wonderful and hardworking monkeys at The Ordinary that this was the proper way to order these products. Of course, your needs and experience can be very different from mine, so I just want to give you as much relevant information as I can so you can decide on your own what you might need or what might sound really good for you. So in the last video, I only reviewed the liquid treatments. I did provide links to my previous winter morning and evening skincare routines where you can see where I actually incorporate and how I incorporate these products into my routine. Basically, I apply these treatments anywhere after cleansing and toning and before oils and moisturizer. Other than that, I don't believe a difference will be made whether I use the alpha-arbutin before the buffet or the buffet before the niacinamide. There are only two products that are advised against using in the same routine, which is vitamin C products and niacinamide. I tend to prefer using my vitamin C in the morning and niacinamide at night. Another reason why I use the niacinamide at night is because it pills. It definitely balls up and doesn't really layer that well with other products, so I'm always using it right before I have to use my oil or moisturizer, and then I'm very careful about just patting the products on top of it. You can still use your essences with these, or you could use them in place of it. Same goes with serum. I also want to reiterate that when they say that you can layer 3 of these treatments together, that also does include oils, acids, or retinoids. So the liquid treatments really are not that complicated when it comes to usage. I think the products that I'm going through today are a little more tricky when it comes to the order. Let's talk about their 100% organic cold-pressed rosehip seed oil. As I mentioned in my oils video, rosehip oil is a natural form of vitamin A. It is so incredibly nourishing on your skin. This is high in linoleic fatty acids, which means it's a relatively dry oil. So the consistency is thin. It absorbs in your skin very quickly. It's non-greasy. And this will also do a great job of balancing out oilier skin too. My favorite pure rosehip oil is this one from Trilogy. There is really no discernible difference between these two other than the price. This is pretty much everything it needs to be. It's organic, it's cold pressed to retain all the antioxidants and the nutrition, but it's really reasonably priced. I always apply my oils before moisturizer because a lot of the oil blends that we use are actually more on the dry side. The fatty acid compositions tend to be really balanced and they're really not that occlusive. Oils are the luxury ingredients that exist in our moisturizers. So these are very, very pure ingredients on their own. They do not contain the emulsifiers or the occlusive ingredients that are designed to help a moisturizer sit on top, on the surface level of your skin. So these on their own, like I mentioned in my oils video, can be added to any step of your skincare. You can mix it with your serum. You can mix it with your moisturizer. But if I'm going to use it by itself, I will always use it underneath the moisturizer, where it can actually be absorbed into your skin and then sealed in. This is so far one of my favorite products from their line. Now let's talk about their vitamin C suspension, 23% with hyaluronic acid spheres. I apologize, I cannot actually find the bottle. I got this 4 months ago and it was still in its first generation packaging. That pretty much tells you right off the bat how much I've used it. There are many forms of vitamin C out there that are beneficial for your skin, but l-ascorbic acid is like the empress of them all. It has the most research proving its efficacy at protecting your skin from environmental stressors, but also hyperpigmentation and lightening it, and keeping your skin more youthful appearing. It is the one staple in my skincare routine that does not change. So what makes this vitamin C product interesting is that it's not formulated in water or silicones. So vitamin C comes in powder form, but for us to be able to put it on our skin and have it absorb, it is formulated a lot of times with water, which causes it to be unstable and oxidized. So the fluid formulations have to be within the perfect pH range to keep it stable, but also the addition of antioxidants such as vitamin E and ferulic acid really also helps keep it stable. As soon as l-ascorbic acid is being formulated at higher percentages such as 20 and above, it's even harder to stabilize even within that same pH range, which is why there are a lot of products out in the market that have l-ascorbic acid 20% and over, but they're in silicone form. The powders mix with silicone instead of water to bypass the whole oxidation thing. As we know from a lot of primers and moisturizers, silicones also give that very sort of smooth, spreadable skin feel, which counteracts the graininess of the powder. But what The Ordinary believes is that silicones trap the vitamin C, so less of it is actually being effectively absorbed into your skin, but rather sitting on top of it. So with this product, they aim to eliminate the instability, the pH dependency, all that stuff. So this formula is a suspension, which basically means that it contains undissolved l-ascorbic acid powder. So the application experience reflects all of that because it feels like a physical exfoliant on your skin. The texture is really grainy and uncomfortable. I think the point of it being in this undissolved form is that it will react on your skin and dissolve when you're applying it. But I really didn't get the sense that it was dissolving well. It felt like it never dissolved, which makes me wonder how much of this 23% is really getting absorbed. The website says expect a slight tingling, more like burning. And it's not like I have not already been using l-ascorbic acid for years. There was a point in which I couldn't stand it anymore and I had to wash it off. And I did even get some red patches. I don't know what they were. They were definitely patches of sensitivity. After that, I dared try it one more time, this time mixed with moisturizer as they recommend on the site. That did not help. It didn't all of a sudden take away the graininess, but it also didn't take away the stinging and burning. So yeah, my review of this is more like a first impression, but I just was not ready to stick through this for the long haul, especially because I was getting these red sensitive patches. I will shamelessly admit that the elegance of a product and its application has almost everything to do with whether or not I'm going to use it. I mean, it's exactly the same thing with sunscreens for me. If this is something you already have or you want to try it out, The Ordinary recommends that you use this after your liquid application and before your moisturizers. The bright side is I did receive and started using this, which is the Ascorbyl Tetraisopalmitate. I will talk more about this once it's been given a chance to work, but first impression wise and wearability, I already like this so much better. In fact, I like it a lot. Now for the acids, everything that we're covering today are subjects that I actually want to talk about in more detail in their own videos. If there are any subjects that you're particularly interested in, please let me know. So starting last year, I really changed the way I used acids. I used to use acid toners either daily or every other day. I feel like it contributed to further sensitizing my skin. Don't get me wrong, I still love my acids and I still use them. I just use them differently now. Or I'm using just a lot milder forms of AHA that give you the results without the irritation and the harshness. I feel like The Ordinary and I are on exactly the same page when it comes to our philosophy on acids. First of all, they only offer AHAs, which is almost exclusively what I use, but they have the gentler, less irritating AHAs. Who knows, they can be coming out with a glycolic acid soon, but I'm just loving their selection right now. It is very clear to me that they believe the gentler you are to your skin, the better, and I'm absolutely all for that. Alpha hydroxy acids are humectants, so they're not as stripping and drying on the skin. They're also fabulous for exfoliation, the gentle and gluing of dead surface skin cells. So if you ever have problems with dry, flaky patches of skin, and when you wear makeup it just becomes really pronounced, then AHAs are a good weekly exfoliation treatment to get rid of all of that. But they're also great at fading post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation, so the spots that are left behind after acne. I have two of them. Let's first talk about the lactic acid 5% plus hyaluronic acid 2%. In my latest evening skincare routine, you see that I use this maybe once or twice a week. This is formulated with Tasmanian pepperberry extract, which is a very soothing ingredient and is there to soothe the kind of irritation that usually comes with acids. I've actually already repurchased it. It reminds me so much of Sunday Riley's Good Genes, except it is so much more gentle and it's better for regular use. I personally recommend this over Pixie's Glow Tonic. I would say that this is a dupe. I actually think it's a better product. That uses 5% glycolic. This actually uses a gentler AHA, but works better. I use the acids in the step right before moisturizers, after the liquid applications. And that's also what was recommended by The Ordinary. These products are formulated at the perfect pH so that when it applies on our skin, it will work. We do not need to manipulate the pH of our own skin in order for these things to work. Now for the azelaic acid suspension, 10%. It's also one of the best things for inflammation. It's usually a treatment that's prescribed for rosacea sufferers. If you have inflammation from acne, this is fantastic, but it is also antibacterial. This will work around your hair follicles to prevent whiteheads, blackheads, acne-causing bacteria. This will deal with the inflammation as well as the post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation, regular pigmentation, and it will do all of that without drying your skin out. So I was so excited when I saw this come out because I've actually been looking for a pure azelaic acid product for a long time. But upon first application, the first thing that struck me was the texture. It was like so silicone-y. It's also extremely mattifying, which in the wintertime is just not that comfortable on my skin. There's an emollient in here that mattifies your skin and is commonly found in a lot of sunscreens. I can imagine some people would really love that effect if you have oilier skin, or maybe even in the summer, but AHAs are not something you want to wear during the daytime under makeup. It makes your skin more sensitive to the sun, but also particularly with this product, it layers terribly under anything else, which is not surprised considering the silicones in here, but it definitely balls up something fierce. Yeah, it's really hard for me to even gauge if this is working because every time I apply a moisturizer over this, I feel like most of it just rolls off my skin. Now let's talk about the Advanced Retinoid 2%. I feel like we can have a whole nother conversation about retinoids because I'm slightly obsessed with them, mainly because I can't use retinoic acid. I can't use tretinoin. It just does not agree with my skin. So all these new generation retinoids are so interesting to me. I think if you're someone who's used retinols before or traditional retinoic acid, tretinoin, then this is really confusing because there's no skin irritation involved, sensitivity, and that crazy peeling that you have to endure for at least 2 months. This formula contains 2 forms of retinoids. One is the more traditional retinol. The retinol they use is also encapsulated, which further prevents sensitivity from not allowing it to penetrate too deeply and quickly into the skin, causing irritation. The second is hydroxypinocolone retinoate, which you will also find in Sunday Riley's Luna, as well as Zellen's Power A Drops. This is actually a trans-retinol ester, so it's different from the retinoic acid or Retin-A that has been researched and proven to be great for anti-aging. These esters are usually the non-prescription retinoids, so you will find them in a lot of formulas. Retinol palmitate is one that you see a lot. But what makes this particular ester, a form of vitamin A, so special is that it doesn't require that metabolic conversion to gain the benefits and results that you get from Retin-A or retinoic acid. You're supposed to reap all the benefits that come with using Retin-A without dealing with the side effects. The other advantage is that retinoic acid tends to be so highly unstable that you have to use it pretty quickly. But this is far more stable, which is why I suspect they felt comfortable putting it in this vial with a pipette rather than, an airtight tube or something. This is a relatively new technology, and I suspect it's going to really take some time before I really get to notice major differences. I mean, if tretinoin takes at least 6 months to notice any major difference, but then afterwards it's so worth it, then I'm eager to see how long this will take. It's really interesting to me. The Ordinary also offers a 1% retinol treatment, which as you can see is in a tube rather than a dropper because, it's less stable. They're also sort of telling you in the description, this is the future. You don't need all that irritation. You don't need all that flaking. This will give you the same results. So I love using this. I use this every other day. I would actually use it every day because I don't feel any side effects. There's really no sensitivity or anything. So I usually alternate this with my very gentle acid treatments. I wouldn't use this and acid on the same night. So if you've never used a retinoid before and you're interested, or if you don't have a lifestyle that allows for months of invasive peeling and sensitivity, then try this. So I'm just going to go over my evening routine because that's where I would at least include most of the products we covered today. So double cleanse, then first treatment or essence toner, and then the Ordinary liquid treatments. At most, I would usually do 2. One of them would be spot treatment of alpha-arbutin. So then I would rotate the acids, retinoid, and or serum. I use retinol every other day. The acid maybe like once to twice a week. So then the other days I would use a serum. Then I would use an oil and then moisturizer. When it comes to rinse off masks, clay or otherwise, I would do that right after cleansing or toning. When it comes to sheet masks, I also use it at that step right after toning. But if you're more comfortable, you could also use it after your acid and retinoid treatment. My absolute favorites that I know I will keep repurchasing are the rosehip oil, the advanced retinoid, which I'm in for the long haul. I also really like the lactic acid 5%. Well, that's it for the Ordinary's review for now, because I definitely look forward to more reviews on some of the new products that I've been getting from them. But I hope you found this informative, and thank you so much for watching. Until next time, I'm wishing you great skin health. Bye. you.